What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully you guys are having a great night tonight. Today is October 27th, 2021, and we got the VGX Heroes Twitter Spaces Educational AMA tonight. Should be beginning here shortly. I will link it up here. Let me just make sure we're all good to go. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm checking right now. All right, cool. So they're on the VGX Heroes. Okay, cool. I don't know why it won't let me. There we go. I just don't think they're talking yet. All right, guys, have a good one.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. Be just a minute or two as we get populated here.
Hello. Thanks, everybody, as always, for joining in. If you don't mind, could you hit the bottom right tweet button and tweet us out? We'd appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, that's stopping in. Let's get the host up here, and we'll get this show going. We're going to change it up a little bit this week. Piggy and Michael are in the airport, so we're going to change it up and do more of a round table topics and let everybody on the panel answer. So if there's any topics you're particularly interested in as we're talking, feel free to request and share some input. We'd appreciate it. But good to see everybody.
Oh, I see the 100s. I see 100s coming out. Very nice, very nice.
Don't worry. We're going to get a round of them going here in a little bit. Give everybody some time to get in here. I appreciate it, Frankie. Come on up here. Good to see everybody. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Appreciate it. Waiting for the rest of the hosts to join on the speaker, and we'll get going. While we're waiting on them, good to see everybody. Can I get some 100s going? See everybody. They're in between the two people icon. Their little heart with a plus. Click that, and you'll get all your emoji options. Get a round of 100s going. How do we like that news today? Mavericks, huh? Who saw that partnership coming? Anybody see that partnership coming? It's crazy, man. Did not see that at all. Kind of when that came out, I was like, of all things, of Mavs partnership. Good to see everybody. Is it not letting y'all join up?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I know a lot of people are, and it's
No, it's just super cool exposure. I mean, and of all owners of basketball team, Mark Cuban's most involved, and of all companies, Voyager. It's just super cool partnership. Waiting for a few more, then we'll get going. What's going on, Maximus? I hate I only got to see you once, but it was good seeing you in North Carolina.
Pepe, are you prepared if Mark Cuban by chance joins the Twitter Spaces tonight? Or who's going to have the most freak out moment?
I'm going to rail his ass. I got y'all. I'm not going to fanboy. I'm going to ask real questions.
Oh, boy.
Hey, I'm a lifelong Mavericks fan. I'll fanboy the hell out of him.
Okay, at least we got one fanboy.
I'm going to ask him his thought process when Titan rug pulled him.
Oh, gosh.
I love that.
Give firsthand, make him answer the hard questions right out of the gate. Then we'll start fanboying.
Oh, you'll probably be like, "Hey, Mark. Okay, so it's actually $100 for the promo code, not $50. right? We educate people on that. No, it was just funny to listen to.
I'm gonna ask him if he gets in here. I'm gonna ask him if he's ever heard of Crypto Cartel.
The true legend.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, it's actually me. You didn't hear?"
Yeah, that's my alt account. Nah, that's Steve's alt account. Don't worry. But we can get going. This is our weekly Twitter space. We're not doing an AMA style this week, so it's not really a true Heroes educational AMA, but we're gonna have a panel system. We're gonna have some good questions, get some good answers, and get everybody's feedback. But we'll start with Floki. You can just do an introduction, even though everybody already knows you.
What's up, guys? Y'all know me. I'm Floki, the VGX Viking, here to speak from the heart. Excited about today's roundtable. As we're all talking here, I really encourage you guys to raise your hand and take a mic and speak up and really interrupt us, at any time with your thoughts. We're here for you. I think we could all agree that we'd much rather get more engagement from you guys than just talk at you. So push yourselves, challenge yourselves to come up here and just, even if it's some, shooting the shit kind of stuff, more than happy to hear some new voices. So let's get it going.
Definitely. So can we get some hundreds for that? And don't worry, Michael's not up here to bite, so we're all safe up here. But Aragorn, as you're up here, you can go ahead and take it over next.
Hey friends, I am currently making cinnamon rolls. How does that sound? Late night
Fire.
cereal and cinnamon rolls. So yeah, about burned my hand on the little thingy. Anyways, yeah, name is Aragorn, and I'm kind of an OG co-founder there with Floki, and of course the Honorable Maximus. And yeah, I just like organizing things a lot. So if you ever have anything related to ideas or feedback, send it to me. I have this master sheet that has like 300 plus lines of feedback and stuff that Voyager has said that they have eyes on and stuff. So yeah, I want everyone to feel like they have a voice in the community. And as of right now, this is a means for us to be able to do that in an organized fashion. So I'm here kind of to bring the heart, but Floki kind of has that. So he's the heart. I like to think of myself as the brains, but nah, that's what we got this education team here for. Don't listen to anything I say. All right, pass it on.
If you guys are the heart and the brain, can I be the muscle, or what can I be?
You're the mouth. You run your mouth.
Oh, yes. All right, I can do that.
I was going to say, you're the hair. You got the hair, man.
Marvelous.
A problematic. Let us get to the introduction, then we'll love to have you up here, my guy. Just give us just a second. Thor, if you want to go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've been a little bit off grid, but introduction. I've been in crypto for like 4 years. I usually hang out on the charts channel. I'm posting a lot of just squiggles, lines, whatever. Feel free to nudge me if you guys want any information, like, or if you want me to chart something out. But yeah, happy to be here.
Appreciate it as always. Stone Cold.
Hell yeah, I'm excited tonight. I had no numbers whatsoever to discuss tonight, so luckily we had a bit of breaking news today. So yeah, unwinding right now and enjoying a glass of Angel's Envy. So I'm ready to go.
That's a good one. And Frankie.
Hey guys, Frankie here, aka Jack Nicholson. Do a bit of everything here, mostly current events, and to reiterate what Floki said, throw questions that you have, no matter how simplistic you think they might be. We're here to help. Here for the community, and yeah, Stone Cold. That Angel's Envy is my one of my go-tos.
But I'm from the far country. Then how to join the PGX?
Yeah, so VGX, it's on Binance and FTX. So you can get on there. and stake through MetaMask.
How about the Trust Wallet? Did you guys support the Trust Wallet? Can I use the Trust Wallet?
I'm not the best person to ask because I've never done it through a wallet. Has anybody up here had experience with a wallet?
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Actually, I got somebody that perfect for this. I'm gonna see if Michael knows. But how do you, if you buy BGX on like Binance or FTX, the staking on a wallet, how do you do that? Or does Trust Wallet work? You know?
I thought Mike was on. My bad. Yeah, Trust Wallet works, but I use MetaMask. All you do is you just have to connect it like a regular DApp, like Uniswap. You hit the connect button, then you type in the number of the amount of tokens you want to stake, and then you have to sign it. And that's it. It's super easy. And the link is on their website, on the Voyager website as well.
So what about the gas fee and the minimum token that we need to stake?
So with the gas fee, that varies. The market's like super volatile and hot right now on Ethereum, so it's probably going to be a little bit up there. But yeah, you have to pay gas fee to stake it. I forget what the minimum is, but I think it's what was the minimum now, guys? It's not 500, is it?
Michael, I know you have some outside of Voyager. That
What was it? Sorry, I got caught up in the airport here. What was the question? What do you need in order to stake from outside of the Voyager platform?
yeah, or how do you do it on Trust Wallet, and what's the minimum to stake?
So I've never used Trust Wallet, but I don't think there is a minimum provided that you're willing to incur the exorbitant gas fees of transacting on ETH. So I think that realistically, you're talking about a cost effectiveness of it that, first of all, for anybody that's out there transacting in ETH during normal daytime business hours, just bear in mind that you could probably save yourself like 70% of that gas fee if you were to just set an alarm and do it in the middle of the night. But I don't think there is a set minimum through the staking portal. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe there's more so a cost effectiveness minimum of where the math wouldn't make sense for you to stake below a certain number, because you'll expend more in gas fees than you would ever stand to make in staking.
Also keep in mind when you go and use, probably best resource, go to the website, read more about it, investvoyager.com. And but the key thing is, again, with Michael's cost effectiveness, you just have to calculate, is the 7% staking? And I think that's compounded daily. Is that correct, guys? You have to just calculate, is that 7% worth what you'll be paying in gas fees and stuff for the staking and unstaking. So.
Yeah, I think that's my understanding too, is that it aggregates daily, but if only there were maybe an international fella that has a little bit staked, like maybe, I don't know, Crypto Cartel, that wanted to come up and share a few words, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say, he literally knows everything about this, and he's just sitting down there.
Get up here and let us nuts.
So,
we love you, Cartel.
There are so many inside jokes that new people just have no knowledge of. So that's just hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I blame my pig friend for making me drink before.
No, you're good. I appreciate the question. That's all right. You got something for us, my friend?
Yeah, that was a good talk from Crypto Cartel. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's a good day today, and just wanted to kind of double up on what Aragon said earlier. His sheet that he maintains is one of the best sheets I've seen out there. Like, all of us sometimes get frustrated about lack of certain functionality or capability in Voyager, and we try to kind of spend a lot of time in Twitter and everywhere complaining about it. That sheet, I bet like 90% of the time, whatever ideas we have, I'm sure it is already captured in that sheet. So I really request everybody to kind of keep an eye on it. I think Aragon pinged that sheet everywhere possible. I think it is there. It is there in his profile.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's on my profile. So if anyone clicks on it, it's a pinned tweet at the top. So if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, whatever on it, just DM me. My DMs are open, whatever. So yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for
that. Yeah, he kind of captures all the conversations and he makes sure he updates it. So yeah, we can kind of trust him on that. So overall, I mean, what I wanted to say is what, yeah, just I mean, most of the, if you're really interested in providing constructive feedback back to Voyager, I think that may be the best sheet we have out there to kind of leverage it to the best possible.
And I have to say that sheet is older than I am Floki. It's been around a long time. So thank you, Aragorn, for keeping that up to date. And Sri, it's so good to hear from you, man. Are you feeling better?
Oh yeah, a lot better. Thank you.
Good. Love to hear that.
Yeah, thank you for coming up here. Appreciate it. And I totally agree. Aragorn kills it with that. But we can kind of get into the, hold on just a second. So we can get into the questions for tonight. So first question I have for the panel is, what drew you to Voyager and VGX? So I'll start with you, Floki.
Oh man, really, it was just good timing in my life. I got really lucky. You know, career, property, stock, strategy, and portfolio all set up. Where I was like, all right, well, I'm set up for at least the next year. What am I going to do now? Crypto. And the news came out about the Doge pump, which led to the Voyager waitlist. And I hit up a buddy of mine and I was like, hey, what's the deal? And he pointed me towards Voyager, and I dove in head first and did all my research and fell in love. Yeah, I'll leave it at that because I know another question we're going to talk about. You know, why we like it so much and how we would use that to get other people into it. So I'll leave it at that.
Appreciate that. Aragorn, get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think I went about it a little bit different than most. I was kind of inundated, as was everyone when they first found out about crypto. I was like, how do I pick? Like, how do I pick out of these like 10,000 or whatever? And so I tried to think of what are ways that I can get exposed without having to try to pick a winner. And so that's when I thought, well, how do people go about finding crypto? And then, well, you have CeFi and DeFi. So with that, I was like, well, mass adoption is going to come through CeFi. And so that's when I started looking into it and found out about exchange tokens. And I was like, well, that's a way to kind of like be exposed without having to like pick a winner per se, because when you think about the traditional TradFi space, you have many big banks that people go to, and there isn't like a winner take all mentality. And so I applied that to crypto, and I'm like, well, if I see the future and potential in Voyager, and let's say they become like a top 5 crypto app in the world, then I'm not going to have to pick a winner. I'm just picking one of the winning horses. And eventually, even though we're not seeing it right now with VGX, I think it's a long-term winner like that. And it's kind of a set it and forget it auto buys. And that's how I got into VGX.
I like that. That's a different perspective. You don't hear that one very much.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. But Thor, what about you?
So, yeah, kind of what drew me to VGX is, I mean, definitely the team. So I had I started crypto in like 2017, and lost a lot of money. Like initially made a good amount, but then lost a lot of money. From there, I kind of just kept it up with crypto. I wanted to make sure that, because I believed in the future of it, I believed in the space, knew what the technology was, and I wanted to make sure that next market cycle I was ready for that. So I knew, like, I had a feeling, inkling, like just looking from at the markets, that it felt like bull market was like about to start. It was like end of 2019. I'm kind of like sitting at home visiting my parents, looking at like visiting them for Christmas or something. And I remember that, like, I hated Coinbase. I had a bunch of problems with Coinbase. And then like it locked me out of my account. So I was like, this is okay. You know what? Like, screw this. I'm going to look at like what other platforms there are. And like somehow I stumbled on Voyager, never heard of it, which surprised me. And I was like, okay, this looks kind of legit. Like started doing my research, like looked at the team, saw it was like Steve Ehrlich, CEO of E-Trade. So that's what drew me to it, was like the team. CEO of E-Trade, you know, he ran Lightspeed Financial, which he bought from E-Trade after he was CEO of professional trading. He was just like a genius in the space, exactly who you want running a company and starting a company in a brand new capital markets type of area. And then from there, I saw also the CTO of Uber, founding CTO of Uber. He was the CTO of Voyager. It's kind of a no-brainer, especially at the time when it was, I think, like a $3 million market cap. I honestly thought it was a scam at first, and like was like double checking, was doing Google images searches to like make sure it's like actually real. And then I added Steve on LinkedIn. He actually told me it was real, so that was kind of cool too. Just the personality of Steve, and you know, reaching out to the little guy.
Yeah, that's super cool. I know you got in pretty early on, so and that's so crazy. Of all places, LinkedIn, man. That's a new one too. Stone cold.
That was like that was the ultimate way to verify. I found like, so I was in sales, and I mean that's what you got to do. You just got to find the numbers. I was about to call them up afterwards.
Love that. Hey, I mean, gotta do what you gotta do, and I kind of had similar thoughts. I'll say mine after Stone Cold, but Stone Cold, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I initially got into Voyager through Scott Melker, the Wolf of All Streets. He was always promoting the interest that he gets on Bitcoin and USDC. So I purchased some VGX at like, I think it was 17 cents, just so I could get my interest on USDC. I think VGX doubled in just a few days, and I sold, just, you know, taking a nice profit, and started doing some research after it was going up, up, and up, and said, oh shit, what did I just do? And the rest is kind of history. Just look at the numbers, and it just keeps going up with the way things are going, the way the accumulation's going, and just trying to get as much as I can now.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do mine, then I'll come over to you, Frankie. So how I got in was, you know, I was on a few other exchanges, and I really wanted Avalanche. I've always really, or not always, but I've been very bullish on Avalanche for, you know, the past year. So I was like, where can I get Avalanche? And I saw Voyager, and I'm like, how have I never heard of this? Like, I've heard of a majority of the, you know, the main crypto brokers / exchanges. Like, how have I not? So, you know, I looked it up, and I was like, Steve, like, really? Like, what? How have I never heard of this? So, like, I downloaded it, and like I was checking into it, and then, you know, that's kind of how I got into it. And then while I was on, I was like, they have a native token. Researched it, looked into it, and I'm like, oh, this is a no-brainer for me. So that's kind of my little short spill. But Frankie.
Yeah, so you know, all roads lead to Michael for me on this one. He was the one who got me into Voyager, and I'll let him speak on his own behalf. But he got in listening to the Nigerians, and really is the same way that Stone Cold was just saying. We wanted to get a little boost on our crypto, so we bought whatever it was at the time, and you know, in retrospect, we wish would have bought more, because it was right around November, Thanksgiving of last year. So it was something in the order of like 10 cents, 15 cents. So that's my story.
Yeah, I don't know if Michael, if you want to get into it, but if you want to give a quick, I don't know.
Yeah, sure. So I was ultimately attracted to the Voyager platform because I trusted the Nigerian brothers implicitly. And I know that goes counter to my entire OPSEC spiel of don't go based on people, go based on the actual details behind it. But they were what led me to look into Voyager deeper. And then ultimately I stayed because of what the platform itself had to offer and what I saw in Voyager. So it's not like I just blindly stayed because of them, but they were what ultimately led me to Voyager to begin with. And I came in at a time when it was a no-brainer, honestly, where 10,000 VGX got you the extra 1% interest boost, and VGX was 8 cents. So honestly, on an entire bag that you put under management with them, it cost you $800 to get your first 10,000 VGX. And then honestly, I continued to add from there because I most heavily added via the LGOR play. because as recently as 2 to 3 months ago, you could continue. I think my net effective cost of my LGO arbitrage was about between $1.07 and $1.11, because I was getting LGO at the equivalent of like 15 to 17 cents at the bottom. So that was a no-brainer as well. And as far as I think we've got some justified concerns about the current utility, but everybody knows that there's additional utility to be added. So I think that I'm more than patient there, and I'm not one to be critical now, but I think nobody's claiming that this is the final iteration of the VLP. So I think that when you look at it from the perspective of what utility they can add and what this ecosystem ultimately has the potential to develop into and look like, then I'm investing with a time preference that's much lower than those that have become kind of disproportionately overweight VGX in the short term and that are kind of itching for that short-term pop, and you see some of that desperation play out on Twitter. For me, it's been more of a longer-term play because I see certain different boxes that they can check along the way and what that'll ultimately translate to, and then you get into some of the numbers that, not necessarily every metric that Stone Cold puts out there, but some of the basic things that his premise are built upon, like how much VGX there is per user, and if they develop it to be attractive enough where X percentage of the users want to participate, then at some point there is a supply shock conversation to be had. So I think that overall there's a lot to it, and those are ultimately what drew me in and what made me continue to invest.
Thank you. And for anybody that doesn't know, Michael's in the airport right now, so appreciate you hopping on and sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. I don't know how
Sunzi,
pretty loud it is in the background, but I'm gonna end up probably having to drop off here in about 15 minutes. I just wanted to at least say hey.
No problem at all. It's not too bad. But Sunzi, you want to give yours?
Yeah, sure. For me, it was mostly trial and error. When I first started, it was, I tried Coinbase, I tried Coinbase Pro, Crypto.com. I tried all these different things, even eToro. I don't even know what I was thinking. I was just kind of like, I'm the kind of person that needs to experience something to really know. Like I can't just go off of what someone suggests or says unless I try it. And so after trying all those, I mean, Crypto.com and Coinbase weren't bad. I mean, they work. They're decent apps. But when I saw like just the UI of Voyager, it's compared to the others. I love how it's just kind of flashy and everything's constantly updating. And then the thing that really drove it home was the interest. I mean, I don't know the exact amounts of all the different exchanges and what they pay, but that's what got me at the end was, all right, they're gonna pay me this much just to hold it here. Like that's good for me. And then, as I learned more about the team and everything behind it, that was, just icing on the cake.
Definitely so. Definitely so. I appreciate that. We're gonna change the topic a little bit and go with. So, what are you looking for in the earnings report Friday? So, like maybe growth or assets under management, things like that. We'll start it from the back. Frankie, if you want to start off.
Yeah, sure. I think I want to see. I come from like a little bit of a weird background, so I want to see what their credit risk profile is and what their how much money they have at custodians and how much money they've loaned out, rehypothecated. So I'm probably gonna look at the notes of the financials pretty closely when they come around. But I think from a growth perspective, I think that's a no-brainer. I think funded accounts have gotten pretty parabolic in the last 2 quarters, so I don't foresee a change of events there.
Yeah, I totally agree, and definitely tweet your input on that. I would love to hear your input on that because like I read the financials, and I get into them, but I'm still younger. I haven't been around that long, so I'd love to get your input on that. But Stone Cold.
Oh man, I can't wait. So obviously, I'm going to be looking at the number of VGX that are held by the community. I'm 99.9% certain we're somewhere in the 180 million range owned by the community right now. So even though this is going to be June 30th as the cutoff date, you won't see that exact number, but you at least want to see that it's trending the right way, and I'm not wildly off on my estimates. Other than that, I'm kind of curious to see how much VGX Voyager actually held that is not from the customers, but as a company, what they held. Back on the last filing for March 31st, they had 6 million. And that's right when they bumped up the interest payments to 7% and they were having to pay out of pocket. So I'd be interested to see how much of that they have left, if any, or if they even accumulated more, because remember, this is pre-VLP, so you're not going to see that 40 million growth pool in this report. So that's going to be something else I'm looking at.
Interesting. Definitely going to keep a lookout on that too. I haven't thought about it like that. But Thor, you want to add your input?
Yeah, I'm hyped for it on Friday coming up. I think it's probably going to be one of the biggest ones that we see, in my opinion. I mean, really, the two main things I look at is it's growth, so it's like assets under management, and then like funded accounts. I'd like to see, but also making sure that their liabilities are kind of like staying in check. Because I know they were sitting on a lot of cash last earnings report, so I'm curious to see that part. But it's really just mostly excitement for how much the AUM grew like over the past month, compared to September and like that downtrending area, kind of area that we were in.
Definitely so. Aragorn?
What was the question? I was busy stuffing my face.
What are you looking for in the earnings report, or like what are you most excited for? Like what aspect of it?
Gonna be honest, not my forte, and I'm just looking forward to more questions that I don't have to answer or don't have to add to the sheet for FAQs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just looking for any kind of clarity. So
Hey, fair enough. Like the honesty. Michael, you can go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna take a different approach for this earnings call and say that I'm not looking for anything for this Friday's, because I think they already foreshadowed what we're gonna see in that teaser that came out a couple weeks ago that people weren't too pleased with, because it was for the quarter when the market took a pretty steep downturn. So I will say in the short term for this earnings report, I am much more intrigued by what might transpire on the call and what kind of verbal dialogue we get with Steve. And I'm not sure if he's going to speak just to the quarter in question, or if he might speak to the present or to the future. And then as far as earnings go, I'm more looking forward to the subsequent report that comes out a couple weeks later, because let's not forget because of the weird timing with the uplisting of the TSX, we're getting this earnings report right now through Q4 of their fiscal year, which goes through June, right? So we will then get the subsequent fiscal year Q1 at some point between now and November 15th. And that would include through the end of September. And to me, that's the much more intriguing data set than the one that we're talking about for this Friday. So not so much a non-answer, but to me, I think this earnings report is a bit of a nothing burger. And we already kind of know what we think we're going to see. And it's, kind of to be expected. Not that it was overly negative, or it was appropriately indicative of the turn that the market took in that period of time. But to me, it's not representative of any of the upswing back to where we are, nor is it really a good look to the future. To me, the subsequent earnings report that comes out before November 15th is much more pertinent to where things go. And it also, to me, just aligns perfectly with the blackout closing on November 15th, where the company can buy its own shares back. So I'm much more hyped for that second report and that second date on the calendar than this
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was going to kind of be my area. Is just like what extra information we get that we don't already know. But Floki.
Yeah, I'm going to back up what you guys said, short and sweet. Kind of reading between the lines. What are they going to say between all of the numbers that we're expecting? Any little Easter eggs, or just kind of gauging their enthusiasm about how they feel and their energy level. I'm excited to pick that up. And also, what's it going to do to the stock? I'm curious. Once these actual numbers are officially released, if there's going to be any movement there. So that's what I'm looking forward to. More the reaction to the report.
Thank you. Definitely so. Sunzi, you have anything?
I'm gonna pass over to Sri, but also would like to acknowledge. I see here, cover your kids' ears. Bill fucking Murray was minted yesterday. I see he's in here listening. So, what's up, Bill? Thanks for joining us. And Sri, would love to hear your opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just I had a couple of questions. This earnings call usually is primarily for the stock. Do you guys anticipate they're going to talk anything about the token, or is it just going to be about the stock?
So last earnings call, there were some questions. I'm pretty sure there were some heroes that snuck on the call, and we're asking about the number of users that actually own VGX. So yeah, I'm fully anticipating hearing something about the token. It might not be the specific question you want answered, but they definitely do talk about it.
Yeah, I'll tag onto that. They definitely, yeah, it's gonna be stock focused, but they'll definitely give some token info.
Cool.
Hey, Stone Cold, on that topic real quick, I know you weren't going to speak specifically on it, but just because Vision asked it in the Discord, was wondering, for those that may be new to VGX, explain like what the top wallets are and just as a general education to the community.
Yeah, so the question was, there was a screenshot of Etherscan saying there's only like 3,000 wallets. This doesn't seem correct. And that's right, because Voyager custodies the majority of their VGX with Binance, and they're only held in a handful of wallets. So all our internal holdings are in, 5 to 10 wallets. So that's why you're not seeing, much more than 3,000. So that's one of the questions I was hoping to kind of broach on the earnings call, was how many internal users are owning VGX, because that'd be pretty beneficial information. So yeah, that's just something. There's really no, unless you're in No Steve or work at Voyager, you're not going to know how many internal wallets there are.
Because
Yeah, that'd be insight.
I would imagine if I saw that and didn't know it and didn't read the Cedar filings and stuff. Because again, what Vision pointed to in the Discord and stuff, there is a way to see that Voyager owns it, and not just us saying it by hearsay. Correct?
I mean,
Sort of.
yeah. I mean, it's common knowledge that their major custody holder is Binance, and you just kind of, if you do a little digging in wallet forensics, you can see what the flow is, especially with the VLP when that transferred over from 1.0 to 2.0. You could just, knowing the numbers from the filings of who owned what, when you saw a specific amount that got moved, you said, okay, I know this wallet is Voyager. This wallet is Binance for liquidity. So while it's kind of an open secret what the Voyager wallets are.
Yeah, part of me wonders, for a novice, well, let's just say intermediate investor, do you think that might scare away some people that don't do that digging? So, for example, like when I first heard about Doge, I heard about how concentrated the wallet holders were, that there were only, basically a few. And naturally that scared me away, because I didn't want that. I wanted it to be, more spread, more evenly distributed. Do you think that might be holding back VGX in a sense, with these people that just don't understand brokerages and just the nuances of VGX?
I mean, considering I had no idea what I was investing in when I bought VGX, I mean, I guess it depends on the person that's purchasing.
Sure.
It'd be great information to have. In my current situation, I would greatly benefit from knowing that information on a more consistent basis. But to your first-time buyer, I don't really think that would hold them back.
Mhm.
But then you also can look at the quarterly filings and see, it's getting more and more concentrated within the community, and we're probably getting close to 1 million funded accounts now. So you just kind of know it's not going to be in the hands of just a couple whales anymore.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting episode.
And on the earnings side as well, like, the stakes for the earning call would have been much higher without the news today. I think with the announcement that they did today, some of the concerns or some of the sentiment has actually definitely improved. And I'm sure, like, people are not as anxious about the earning call like they would have been yesterday. But of course, a lot of obviously all of us want to know what's going on and what is coming up in the future. Obviously, we want to see what can help the token price and the stock price. But end of the day, I think the sentiment and the news today has helped significantly, I guess.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, that's just kind of on a news cycle. I mean, when you don't have news, it's almost like no information is worse than having bad information, because it's like you want to know something, but having something that boosts your confidence again, where the price was dipping kind of heavily. So it's nice to have like a big reconfirmation boost. And I mean, that's about as good as, yeah, people want Super Bowl and ad and stuff, but when a billionaire partners with you, with his pride and joy, even has a little ad, like an ad shot and everything, and they have a press release, like that was huge for sentiment and getting people in, and even the offer they made for giving extra Bitcoin for Mavs fans, just good gestures, get people in, and I think it was a really smart and a really good partnership.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But on the flip side about having, no news versus bad news, I think it's safe to say that Voyager wants to get as much VGX into as many people's hands as possible. So for people that are DCAing and people that are trying to refer new people into this market, it's kind of been a blessing in disguise. What was going on last night and the dips have been leading, throughout October. I've been buying, and I feel like it's been awesome to have this opportunity. I hope you all capitalize too.
Definitely so.
Completely agree.
Yeah, so kind of moving on over to the next question. So how do you get someone into crypto and Voyager? So if Floki, if you want to start that off, because I know you're the king of especially with NASCAR fans.
Yeah, I had a good time going into the field and talking to people. A few things. It's just like you kind of have to keep it short and sweet and not get over detailed. So I like to say this is the formula. It's Wall Street, Steve, E-Trade meets Silicon Valley and Uber, Oscar Salazar. That is Voyager. It's the best of both worlds of economy and tech, finally bridging together. So I like that argument. People are like, oh, what about security? It's like, well, the leadership has established success, obviously, because that was part of the first pitch, but it is CeFi, not DeFi. It is a publicly traded company. So you should feel secure about that. It's not like you're going into a back alley anymore. You could, if you're scared about crypto, just go with the stock. And I guarantee you people will make that click in their head. It's like, oh, I could hedge my stock bet by also getting VGX. And then you realize that, hey, it's not just a crypto platform. They're going to bring stocks to the platform. So making sure that they make that connection as well. So it's like, hey, even you talk about worst case crypto apocalypse happens, you have a plan B because they're just going to be doing stocks anyway. But we all know this shit's about to blow off the top. So we're excited. And what other thing that I want to mention is that most people don't really care about the investment side, at least initially. They care about, practical use case, which is the stablecoin, USDC. And, my father taught me that it's not necessarily good to have a lot of liquid, right? You want to be invested into stocks, into your property, into things, right? because essentially the money that's liquid isn't working for you, right? You want to get your money working for you. And the USDC interest through Voyager is really the last piece of the puzzle. And now you add that debit card to the mix. It's like, not only are you making extra money for spending it, but you're making money on the money that you have to wait to use. You know, you have to pay your mortgage, you have to get groceries, you have to do this, you have to live your life. So having that extra way of earning money just for letting it sit there is incredible. And that leads to the final knockout punch, which everybody loves. It beats the bank hands down. The bank uses our money and makes money with it and gives us crap back. And I'm making these numbers up. Let's just say they keep 90% of what they're using our money for, and they give us back 10, but that's not even the case. And Voyager does the exact opposite, essentially. The bank keeps 90, Voyager gives back 90, and probably more than that right now because their strategy of trying to onboard as many people as possible. So I know I said try and keep it short, but I tried to just get it out there. So that's what I'm gonna. Oh, one more thing, but it's too technical. Mention the boosts of the VLP, right? Even though it's like, oh, only 1% boost to your Bitcoin, but actually it's a lot bigger than that. Who said it? Winter Soldier a couple of AMAs ago. It's like, yeah, it's 1% added to the 5%, so it's actually like 20% of a boost. So, you know, encouraging people just to dig a little deeper. It's all public information. You'll love it. All right, I'm done. That's it. And we see Daniel Finance is on the line, so listen, I'd love to hear him talk about this as well too. What's up, man? What's up, Professor X? Welcome.
No worries at all. That was great. Aragorn, you can go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying we can't take away from any of his video that he's going to post tonight. Can't ruin any of his little tidbits. No, I didn't have much, but I just wanted to celebrate. We're up to 15 in the App Store. We'll get some
Let's
hundreds.
go. Yeah, let's get some hundreds for that.
15 in the finance category. Sorry, not overall. We'll get there eventually, but one step at a time.
What's going on, Daniel? Yeah, kind of the question is just how do you get someone into crypto and Voyager? Which I know you can't use the app, so you can just answer on the crypto side.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've managed to somehow get a lot of people into Voyager just by just making my videos, which is kind of interesting. Even though I haven't used the app, right? I'd love to, but hopefully 2022 is the date. But yeah, I mean, how to get people to use the app? It's I mean, I think you can really focus on two different people. One is through USDC, through that interest rate, which I think is great. And that would be mainly through two categories of people, just generic, regular day individuals who have savings and want to earn a higher interest, but also, you know, people involved in cryptocurrencies who want that high rate but can't really get it anywhere else. So I think in terms of USDC, that's something that kind of draws in pretty much all users across the board. And then obviously you have the individual cryptocurrency people who may want to come to Voyager for the higher interest rates, for the potential liquidity because they're connected to 12 different crypto brokerages, the large variety of cryptocurrencies that they offer. And then over the long run, you'll have the massive products that I think Floki kind of mentioned that, right? Over the long run, we're going to have a variety of products that isn't just a crypto brokerage, but again, a lifestyle financial app. So that's kind of my answer to that.
Yeah, appreciate you hopping up here and sharing with us. That was great. And I was about to say, for somebody that's outside the U.S. and hasn't used the app, you're up there with getting the most people on the app. So it's definitely impressive.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just research, right? I mean, you know, when I started to kind of look at Voyager, it really doesn't take much to see that, hey, these guys are paying a higher interest rate. These guys offer more coins. And, you know, to me, for not obviously being able to actually interact with the user face, doesn't really matter as much because I know that these guys offer a superior product. And I feel that even if the user interface was awful for some reason, people would still find a reason to be on this platform because of the obviously the benefits that they have. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process.
Yeah, appreciate that. Frankie, you want to share your input?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the problem with me is a lot of family members that I've gotten exposed to the stock can't get exposed to the VGX because they live in New York. So that I'm expecting once New York clears, there'll be a lot of new VGX bag holders. But that I've already I don't want to rehash what Floki and everyone else said. Basically, I try to sell the interest boost, and I mean, people that I've gotten into. You also have to understand people's risk tolerance. The individuals that I've talked to have a pretty high risk tolerance, so they are well informed in that this could go south really quickly. So just when you are trying to like give this story, also make sure try to get a gauge of what the individual's risk tolerance is, because A, you don't want to put a friend in kind of a weird position. You might lose your friendship with that person, and B, no financial advice, yada yada yada. So that's my spiel on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Stone Cold.
Yeah, I have not yet discovered the magic formula for the pitch that applies to every single individual out there. I had one friend sign up today. I sent him the link for the Mavs 100. I said, look, he's never been in crypto. You get $100 in Bitcoin, put $100 in USDC. See if you like it, if you like the platform, do some research on some coins. He's like, yeah, it sounds like a good deal. That one's. Then I have my brother who I sent the same link to. And I said, look, you can move your SHIB over here and get interest on it. And he said, is it better than Coinbase? I said, it's cheaper. Except he just paid $50,000 in $50,000 in debt for a new truck. He's not going to care about the USDC interest. So it's just kind of knowing who you're talking to and what that person's kind of interested in. If it's your shit coin that's out there, Doge, or if it's someone that's actually looking to build wealth with the interest boosters, and all the great products that are coming down the line.
Definitely so. Yeah, I'm coming from like a younger audience. I definitely know how hard it is to push interest to people. But Brian, see you hopped up here. You got something for us, my friend?
Yeah, I was actually just a question. Obviously, the interest rates change on the coins, on a monthly basis. How long do you think they'll be able to offer that 9% interest rate on USDC? Do you see that going up, down, staying the same?
I definitely don't see it going up, but Steve's been pretty vocal on he wants that to stay as long as he can. He's he takes pride and he knows that's a big boost, like, to get people in. So he's definitely said he wants to keep it, but I don't have any timetable or anything on how long or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
The most I heard him say was they only thought in like a few months time frame. But as far as time or months, that's all that I have ever technically heard him say.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming up here, my friend.
Hey, Pepe, I got a small plug for Snake Eyes. So a way that he just thought is he's making bumper stickers. So he's making a Voyager one custom. So if you want to be added to that tally or whatever, just DM him and just say, hey, add me to the tally. So that's a way of getting the word out.
And
good shout. I forgot about that.
That absolutely does not mean we're slapping a Voyager sticker on everybody's car parked in the grocery store. Okay, guys? That's just
Wait, is that not why you ordered 2,000 of them like that?
Wait, actually, what's the legality on that? Is that considered defacing property?
I
Oh,
would
for
say
sure.
probably,
Oh, for sure.
but fuck it, wear a hoodie and ski mask. Get in and out of there. But Pablo, I see you hopped up here. How are you?
I'm good, man. Super pumped, super fired up. Big day for us today. Just validates our longs positions, and rest in peace to the fallen comrades that jumped off the bus at $1.90 today. But when you're playing the long game, it doesn't matter. Like a lot of us here, so I'm just stoked. This just further validates what we already knew, is that Steve is working on things that we're not even aware of behind the scenes, and it's just super frustrating when people are blasting him. It's like this guy is just making connections all over the place and executing, and like Daniel loves to say, executing on a higher level. So that really just kind of resonates with me. But the reason that I wanted to hop on is a strategy that's working for me with a lot of newbies, and that's is that I tell them, if you deposit $100, use my referral code, you get a 25% return on your investment right away. And if they want to, I've been telling them to buy HBAR just because I should have been telling them to buy Shiba, because it's such a fraction of a penny, but I just believe in HBAR, and it was at, between 20 and 35 cents, so they can buy a few hundred, and that really gets them. I probably shouldn't have told them to sell Bitcoin, sell at $25 and get the Bitcoin, but just getting them engaged, the 25% return on your investment, $100, that's worked out really well. And then the frustrating part for me is after I went back and surveyed the most recent 10, none of them knew about what VGX was. And then I had to, tell them what VGX was. And that's why I kind of suggested doing some type of a educational video on what the VLP program is and how it would enhance, their trading, would really work, because of the 10, none of them knew what the VGX token was. And to come to think of it, I don't even know how the hell I found out about VGX and VGX token in the community. So I really am a big advocate especially for the VGX heroes, because I think what makes us strong is obviously the community, but to be able to lean on each other, because we're all at different stages of our investing in the crypto space. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to just give you guys my strategy, because it seems to be working really well. Also, a foolproof strategy, depending, I know one of you guys had mentioned risk tolerance. What a few guys have been doing recently is, they'll take advantage of the promo, sell Bitcoin, get their HBAR, but then I'll tell them, deposit a couple grand into USDC, and they're literally getting, $18 a month that they can play with, and they're buying, a lot of them somehow have found BitTorrent, some of these other fractional, small cryptocurrencies that you can buy for, sub $1, and they're really getting a chance to kind of play with that free, quote unquote free money, if you will. So those are just a couple things that are working for me. I'm in the process of getting a card made up. I know Nelville has shared kind of what he's put out there. So I'm looking to get something with more of a, Voyager colors and a sick graphic on a thicker card base that I can hand to people, because obviously you really want, I hand them out, or I talk VGX, or I talk crypto wherever I can. And, I really want to hand them something, because it's one thing that it's kind of weird. Like, hey, can you give me your number? And we don't know each other. And then I'm like, hey, let me send you our link. And it would be nice just to be able to hand somebody something that they can reference back into, like he does. And it seems like he's experiencing tremendous success with it.
Yeah, thanks for hopping up here. Good to talk to you as always. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and add on to mine is mostly the best way I've found is just start with, a lot of people have seen crypto, they see it all over the place. They have some semi kind of interest or anything. I'm just like, hey, you get 25 free dollars, you put $100 in, you can put it in USDC and just let it sit there. But I mean, it dips people's toes in. They get a free boost. They're like, okay, free Bitcoin. You get them in the app, and then it's sticky. They're stuck. So it's just finding the balance on how to get them to set up accounts, try it out. And yeah, Voyager for me was just finding out about it as I'm using the app. But Alda, you have anything?
Yeah. So the way that I approach it is just basically speaking about crypto to friends and colleagues in general. And then once they're interested and express interest, then we continue the conversation, and then I give them a list of exchanges and apps, and I tell them these are the ones that are reputable and these are the ones that I use. And this is the one that I prefer and have grown to prefer over time, which is Voyager. I explain that it's a publicly traded company. It's on a stock exchange. It's, they've cleared regulatory hurdles, and then I just show them. I just show them the app, which people have spoken and mentioned it earlier about the UI experience. We're moving to a mobile world, and so if your target audience is people that are not crypto savvy, and at the same time we're moving into a more mobile device type paradigm, this is by far the most the superior product in my opinion, and obviously the team behind it is fantastic, and I have complete confidence in them. And then I just show them. I just say, look how easy it is. What do you think? And they go, okay, cool. And they sign up, and then I also explain the concept of within crypto, like, hey, there's this whole thing called DeFi and TeFi. You can make money. Why are you putting your money in your bank in a bank? Why are you holding dollars when you can hold USDC and get 8-9% interest on this app? And then I tell them, like, you get this once a month here. Like, why would you not want to do that? I mean, even if your risk tolerance is super low, you don't even have to play with these speculatory coins that are gonna make them nervous. You could just put 10 grand in USDC and look at this. And once I explained to them that they're functioning like banks used to function, a long time ago, with actually paying the client, the customer, it's a no-brainer for them. So that's like my selling point for Voyager. It's just the introduction to crypto, the possibilities, what's out there. I give them a list of exchanges that are reputable, and I tell them personally what I use, and then I demonstrate and show them, and then the obviously the rewards, and eventually the rewards program is just like kind of the ultimate selling point. So that's how I approach it, and I've been gotten several people into it. So that's it. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, thanks y'all
for hopping up here. I just want to state for the record, not financial advice. We're not Voyager employees, and also the price of a coin token. There's more than that. So always take that into account. Unit bias isn't always an investment strategy, or isn't necessarily investment strategy. But so just gotta throw that out there for a disclaimer. But no name. You hopped up here. You got something for us, my friend?
Hey guys, I just have kind of heard a little bit of the last 5 to 10 minutes since I jumped on, so I'm kind of preoccupied with other stuff. But for me, what I like to do with people is just find out what they're into first, or if I already know, I try to relate it to that in some way. This comes from being a ski instructor, and that's what I do for a living. So when I teach skiing to people that have never skied, I find out real quick what other sports they've played and try to figure out something to make it relatable to them. So in regards to Voyager and getting them on the platform in that way, just finding out what other things they use. I mean, we've seen it on Twitter recently with people saying, hey, have you looked at Amazon Prime? Like, look at how much that's evolved over the years. But instead of just saying like that, because it's just a tweet, you only have so many characters to get out what you mean. But if you're talking to someone face to face, you can you can go in depth with something like that. Or if they can even tell you the benefits of something that they use, and then you can mirror Voyager with the benefits there and incorporating VGX into that and things like that, then it can go a long way. I mean, I have my streaks of when I'm encouraging people to sign up and sharing a code, and other times where I'm just like exhausted with the people that maybe were on a waiting list that I told to buy at 40 cents, and then they got around to it when the token hit $6 and bought then, and now they chirp at me about it. So yeah, obviously the people that it goes over the best with are the ones that buy near a local bottom or something. But yeah, so I don't know, not going on any more of a rant about it, but yeah, trying to relate it to what people are really into and how you see them learn or how they seem to look at things, and then bringing it back to Voyager is what has brought me the most success.
Yeah, appreciate you hopping up here and sharing that. And I definitely agree. There's no one correct angle. Everybody's going to be different. So you have to be versatile in how you portray it. But we'll go with Thor, then Aragorn. You're back to back with the hand raises.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted to kind of add on to the USDC aspect because that's usually my main way of bringing people familiar with crypto. Because I mean, most people that I talk to about it are like, either one, they're getting into it and asking me questions like, is it too late to buy? What should I use? So I'll tell them, like, I always suggest Voyager because that's all I use. It's publicly traded. Probably one of the safest places you can keep your money, especially from most of the crypto space out there. And if they ask me, like, is it too late to buy? Well, I mean, it might be a little too late now. It just ran up like 20%, 30%. It's always that FOMO kicking in. So I'm like, why don't you just put it in there, hold it in your USDC, because you get 9% automatically of interest, like just sitting there. And then they kind of like everyone has that moment. So I'll like jump into the savings. And I'm like, I mean, how much are you keeping like in your savings account? Like, what do you, or that's kind of a personal question, but like, what interest are you getting on your savings? How much are you keeping in there? Like 0.5%. Why don't you just hold it in Voyager and get that 9%? So then they kind of start getting hyped. They start like asking questions like the FDIC insurance, for example. And I recently finished a book called Creature on Jekyll Island. It's like highly recommended to everybody, but it dives into the modern day banking system and how it's built up after we went away from the gold standard. And it's eye opening. So like I'll jump into the FDIC, like mostly about, it. First of all, it's private, and it's like very like if a bank failed, they're very unlikely to pay you back. I mean, there's a story of a bank failing in the mid 1950s, and it took like over 20 years for the people to get paid back, and it was like a ridiculously small percentage. It was like less than 50% of the money that you lost, you got paid back 20 years later. Like that, I mean, then people kind of look into it and they think that's kind of a joke, right? But kind of going on tangent here, but I'll usually also dive into the inflation part of it. I mean, we printed like $9 trillion in 2020. That was like 20% of the circulating supply of like the dollar. So inflation is about to come in. So why not start kind of looking at places where, to invest your money, to become a little risk on. And then you kind of dive into the coin market cycles and like how everything's been, over the long term been going up. But yeah, I just want to share that because I think that's worked pretty well for me over the past with like a lot of my coworkers and people around me.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That was great insight, and I know Michael loved that, so he's just giggling over that one. But Aragorn, then we'll go back to you, Sari.
Yeah, I was just going to plug the resources channel on the Heroes Discord. So if you haven't been on the Discord yet, link on my profile or the Heroes profile. And there's a tab called, a channel called Resources. And there is a view only Word doc there that has kind of everything you need to get started on crypto. So honestly, you can even share that link if you have a friend that you don't want to go to the trouble of finding this random video or whatever to get them started, just send them that. So and it kind of walks them through what they need to do to get started.
Definitely so. The Discord, there's so much information all spread out. Any topic you could want, it's there, and it's only growing. But Sri, you go ahead.
Yeah, before I ask a question, I kind of add on to what Aragon said and you said. So I joined the Discord maybe 5-6 weeks back, and I mean the wealth of information that is there. I mean, if there's anybody on this spaces and not on Discord, I would say you're really missing out on a lot of stuff. You get to interact with very knowledgeable guys, and I mean there's all flavors that you can get in the Discord. Of course, it's also a venting space that you don't have to do it on Twitter or anywhere else. You can exchange ideas. There's education section that you can go and read up on things. There's, I think Michael and others have compiled a lot of good information. You get to know some of the very smart guys, from art side, some good artists too, some good graphics, some good humor. I mean it's a mix of everything. So it's a group of like-minded people who are very vested in the success of VGX and Voyager, and I mean there is something for everybody. So I would strongly encourage you guys to check out the Discord if you're not already there. So having said that, coming to my question though, so we've been talking a lot about stable coins and how we want to attract people. We talked about USDC and everything else. So I've been seeing some headlines in the last few days talking about the upcoming regulation on stable coins. So what you guys think the impact of that would be? And who will benefit, who may lose because of that?
I'll start on that. I definitely think regulation, it's 100% coming, but with Steve, I mean, with his background and everything he's doing with Voyager, he's on the forefront. He probably honestly wants regulation more than any other brokerage exchange outside of Coinbase, because I mean, he's done everything right. It slows you down on things, but being ahead of the curve for when that regulation strikes, because a lot of these foreign companies, they're going to be on the outside looking in, trying to catch up, while the Voyager, Coinbase of the world, they're going to be set up to continue operation as normal. But nobody really knows exactly what regulation is going to look like. But I mean, it's eventually going to come.
Yeah, and specific to stable coins. I mean, so I've been hearing that stablecoin regulation may come or some clarity on that regulation may come as early as this week. And we've been using the stablecoin interest and the rewards as one of the main reasons for Voyager. At the same time, just trying to understand what could that regulation mean, not necessarily on the companies. I mean, on the exchanges or like the companies like Voyager or CoinBase, but what would be the regulation on stable coins mean to the market, or which tokens may benefit? For example, Luna.
Yeah, Thor, you can go ahead.
So I'm not like a complete expert on this, but I've been doing some research on something that's very interesting to me as well. And as far as the discussions go around the stable coins, what was recently going on and has been all over the news is essentially where they were going to like put into effect, they were talking about stable coins being possibly like securities, but that's a very it's a big misconception and like kind of a bad phrasing, because stable coins, they don't take into consideration, since it's a digital asset, that they don't move up and down in price. And the definition of a security is that you put in money with the intention of making a gain in the future, something of that nature. So I think that's being overturned. I know the USD or the US stablecoin is actually in discussion of being approved, or they know that they're in discussion for like possibility of 2022, the stable coins coming out as, you know, officially non-securities. In any sense though, I think there will be some solution in the near future, but I don't see it affecting the market too much. We've seen the USDT FUD kind of being rinsed over and over, and I think now it's just kind of coming out on a grander scale.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I was also asking that is, I mean, and thanks for that. And like there was a question earlier, like, you know, would the interest, can the interest be what it is now? Like, and that is one of the major selling points of the platform itself. So I was like, and I was just trying to understand, you know, if any of this that is coming this week or in the next few weeks, potentially impact. I mean, may not impact a lot, but at least the interest that could be provided.
That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, sorry. So I actually, as far as that goes, it's the kind of a nuance between how Voyager gets the money for the interest versus some of the other companies also recently that use the way that they give that extra interest on USDC as well. So it's, you know, a couple of main points. I know arbitrage is a big one, where they'll use the money, use your USDC and arbitrage on the market for small gains, and give it back to you. Another one is loans. So why BlockFi got in trouble was they were loaning out directly to their customers, and same thing with CoinBase. They were going to directly loan out your USDC to customers. The nuance with Voyager is that they're working mostly with partners that have the licenses to be working with customers, and they're loaning out on a grander scale to those partners, which makes them also, you know, I don't know if like fully compliant, but it's much closer to the way that how it should be. But you know, on a grand scale, as far as like affecting the entire market, I don't think the regulation is going to affect how organizations make money on USDC and give that interest. But definitely, I think Voyager will be the least of those, or is probably in the safest position.
Frank, you can go ahead next.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna. I think you just mentioned what I was thinking. I think there's a big political struggle on whether, you know, these stable coins or crypto in general should fall to the SEC or the CFTC. You know, they're saying that, you know, 60% of crypto is considered commodity, so it should fall to the CFTC. But I think, but I think one of the bigger issues that Gensler might is looking into is whether these stable coins are one-to-one backed, or if there's you know, I think that the issue with Tether was that it wasn't one-to-one, and the funds were commingled. So that's kind of a big no-no in kind of the banking area. So that's what they're probably looking at, and I think there's a lot of FUD in it, in what's going on right now. The thing is, it's at this point where it's a wait and see to see what Gensler says in his in the report coming in the next few days.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the questions as always. We'll move it into our next question. So how do we protect our friends and family when the price goes down on something we recommended? So, for example, a lot of us recommended Voyager. We got our friends and family, and sorry, I'm losing my voice. Like near $4, $5, $6, $7. So, you know, when the price is going down and they start asking about it, what do you say? Let's see, who hasn't started yet? Thor, you want to take over?
Yeah, I'm actually I can jump in on that one. So yeah, that's especially with VGX, if you're recommending that, that's a tough one. because it's been going down for probably like the last 6 months. But over like I usually, if I am trying to get people to get in the market, it's I had lost a good amount of money like back in 2017. So I always kind of try to preach that manager risk aspect, and like I'll ensure that they know, like, listen, like this is going to be really volatile. There is a lot of like shit out there, but in that shit, there's some gems that will make you a lot of money if you go about the right way with the kind of long-term mindset. And I'll kind of try to keep emphasizing the long-term mindset and making sure that what they do invest in, they actually do their research on and have a conviction. Because if you don't have that conviction when you're entering the market, entering a position for X amount of time, it starts going down, you start freaking out, and you have the wrong mindset, you get emotional, you lose your money. What happens like 2 months after, if everything's going down, obviously people are starting to get concerned. No matter what, if they're new to the market, they're gonna start having doubts, start asking you questions, etc. And I'll just keep re-emphasizing usually for them to go back to the what they what their conviction came from, like why did they invest in it, or I'll go through because they'll say that they did the research and they're like, oh no man, I just because you told me, I still went in. So then I'll have to go through the Voyager value play, etc., or like whatever coin they went into. But you kind of want to also tell them, like, if you are uncomfortable, if this is if you're not prepared to hold this for a longer period of time, you might want to like de-risk and sell a little bit of your position so you are comfortable and can take that emotion away and the pressure of whatever other debts that you have to sell off, and then learn from it, and next time do it the right way. But then after like now it's been like 6 or 7 months. Honestly, I've gotten to a point where I've gotten pretty frustrated with my people. I'm kind of over coddling them also, because I had some people reading right at the top, and I kind of tell them to look at it from like the overall grand scheme of things. And going back to the assets under management. So Voyager back in like end of 2020, their assets under management was like 150 million. And back in last September, like this September, their assets under management are 5 billion. That's a ridiculous multiplier within a year. And in that, back then we hit all-time highs of that $7. Right now we're at $3.60. The fundamentals are better, the company is stronger, and the growth is insane. And you're telling me that we're not going to hit that all-time high and then go above that? Yeah, at least in my opinion, also not financial advice, but that's my thinking. Or are you going to ape into some coin that just went up 800% in the past month? You're literally lowering your position. You're selling something that hasn't moved with great fundamentals, and you're going to chase after something that's already up 800% at a $14 billion market cap, while Voyager's market cap is at 500 million. So it's kind of like that kind of mindset takes away or helps you try to take away that FOMO and making people think emotionally, or making people think logically versus the emotion. But that happened to me kind of today. So I like firsthand, I was about to vent, but I see Aldot, you jumping in. It's all you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was just going to say that generally when I get my friends and family, colleagues, etc., into crypto, and the way that I explain it to them is I just say, look, the way that I approach it is have uniform bets, on each coin that you're looking at. I explain the space to them. I'm big into talking about different stacks, different areas or domains in the blockchain. So I'll explain like, okay, here's the NFT market, here's the Oracle market, here's these are the different categories that you might want to look at, and these are the coins that are operating those spaces. You should research them, and I definitely impress upon them the necessity for risk management. So, you know, um, I explain like, if you want to weight your portfolio, it depends on their risk tolerance. Obviously, if their risk tolerance is lower, then I would say, you know, do a 55, do a 50, 25, 25, which would be like, 50% Bitcoin, and then, 25% like large caps, and then another 25% like, your moonshot, like low caps and stuff. Um, but I try to express to them like risk management in terms of, hey, if you have like 10,000 bucks, these are the areas, and like, what are your goals? Like, are you trying to, where are you trying to go in this cycle? And a lot of this is based on where in the cycle we're at and what their understanding is, and how much we've previously discussed, like market cycles and how this works with the Bitcoin halving and everything else. So if they understand that kind of stuff, then I just the things that I emphasize is uniform positions across like a lot of things. Don't be overexposed in one coin, because you never know what's going to happen in one coin or another. So take the stuff that you believe in, educate them in the different areas of crypto and the different areas of technology that are emerging, and among that, just explain the risk. Like the risk of a micro low cap as opposed to a mid cap or high cap. And just educate them, and then explain that it's a crazy world out here, and you have to assure them that this is not like the stock market. You're going to go through mad, like, just trying times. I got in right before the halving, actually. So it's been a long journey for me personally. And for someone coming in now at the tail end, that advice would be a little bit different, but the core advice is still there. And just be prepared. Crypto is the Wild West. It still is. And just exercise proper risk management, I would say.
Real quick, just to add to that, is I remember something that really stuck with me, and the person that got me into crypto is not someone I'm a huge fan of anymore, even though they did get me into it. But he said to me, I remember he was just like, you got to be able to press the sell button. And it was so true, because it took so long for me to actually realize profits in the market.
That's 100%. And thank you for saying that. I forgot to say that. That is the most important thing. Nothing is realized until you hit the sell button.
I think, I think that's a really good point as well, as like, especially at this point in the market. Like, I'll tell them that kind of that long-term vision of like, listen, I mean, in 3 years, it's going to be up a lot, but in those 3 years, you might see some ridiculous dips. So this might not be the best time to get in, or if you do get in, make sure you are actually, have a plan in mind, and actually make sure, where you would get out if it started crashing, or if we're getting in that euphoria stage. Because I'll tell them, I believe in the next 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I think we're gonna have a blow off top. Everything's gonna be going up hundreds of percents. You feel that euphoria of the May that we had. Like, even myself with Voyager, I mean, I knew like we were up 4,000%. I thought we were gonna just steamroll into like 12, 15 bucks. But make sure you have a plan at the beginning, and when you would start taking profit, because you'll end up, you could end up regretting not taking that profit to later buy back in, because there's always realistically a buyback opportunity. It just doesn't seem that way when you're in that kind of euphoria state.
And one more thing to just jump in real quick, if you don't mind, is that you need to make people aware ahead of time, or when you're having this talk with them, about the possible tax implications in everything. I mean, the kid who I mentioned that got me into it, who I don't get along with anymore, was basically like, nah, like F taxes, you don't like that. That's not a thing. And I mean, he was setting me up to fail, but I am smarter than him, so I didn't listen.
I think that's a really good point. I mean, the F taxes thing, like with crypto, I've heard so many people, especially after they made gains this year, ask me like what they're doing with taxes if I'm doing them, and like I mean, I just bring them back to the basics of like blockchain. Like everything's traceable. That's kind of the beauty of it. And yeah, the wallets might be anonymous, but once one exchange does KYC, plugs into that wallet or what exchanges it does, they know it's you. Even if the IRS, whatever, doesn't have the technology right now to be able to track it, they'll have it in 3 years, and they can backtrace it 3 years to know exactly what you did and who you are. I mean, so that's kind of the way I think about it. And I mean, I'm sure. I mean, all the tax software goes back about 2 years now, 3 years. And if you have some mistakes right in the beginning stages, I'm sure you'll be fine. But like, make sure you're kind of staying on top of what you're doing now, because that's like you're gonna get caught. There's no way around that. If you, and you don't want to make a bunch of gains, like achieve that goal of crypto, and then get messed up when they come after you.
Yeah, I totally agree. And taxes, you can't say it enough. As much as it sucks and nobody likes to talk about it, and a lot of people don't even really know much about it, it's always important to have that talk. And I totally agree with the point on just when you get people in, just make sure they fully understand it to the best you can, because the more knowledge they have, the less emotional, and when it goes down, they're not panic selling to buy something at its peak to just sell for a loss and keep that terrible cycle. So it's just keeping them informed, and also like, when there's big news releases or earnings report, things like that, just get people to like keep up with things like that so they understand the nuances of what's going on. But we got a good bit of speakers up here. Stanley's Cup and Bill, neither one of y'all have talked yet, but Bill, I know you're a new VGX hero. Good to see you.
Hey guys, let me turn my other noise down. How's everybody doing? Glad to be here. This is actually my first Twitter Spaces I've jumped on and spoken with anybody, but just a little bit about me. Where do I start? 2017 crypto cohort, so got in early that summer, right before the parabola really kind of took off. Learned a lot, and I've been around VGX for a while. I can't remember exactly if it was at the end of 2018 or early 2019. But the story for me goes, it was this weird little kind of lull in the bear market, and I've been a big IOTA fan for a while. That project's had its own challenges and ups and downs. We won't really go into it, but and there was a period in time where you couldn't get it in the US, and right when Binance US went down, I think late 2017, early 2019, Voyager showed up, and IOTA was like one of the first ones they offered. And I thought, Voyager was I was like, this is sketch. Like, I haven't heard of this. There's nobody flavor, like 2,000 followers on Twitter, maybe. I don't even know. But I just started looking into it, and I had, in 2017, I had seen Binance Coin come out, in the cents range, and totally missed the boat on that. Thought, it might be scammy. And I told myself, after watching Binance in the bear market just fly from pennies up to $40, that I'd never miss an opportunity again on a DEX token. And really quickly looked at the supply, looked at the market cap. Looked at all the data and just said, this is it. This and plus, I'm big into I love TA and technical analysis and charting. And so I looked back at the structure from Ethos. It was pretty cool how they inherited that previous chart data. And I just said, there's no way this thing is not going back to $10 in the next bull cycle. And so, I've been packing my bags ever since. And it's been an incredible journey. So anyway, really thrilled to be here. I guess there's not much more to say than that, but I will offer a brief anecdote on the kind of talking to people. What do you do when you bring people on board, and how do you keep them from walking off the ledge? It's a funny thing, and I really, as much as I want to spread the word, I take a lot of time to make sure somebody's the right candidate to introduce to crypto, because a lot of people don't want to learn, no matter how much you can tell them, or they don't want to listen. And I think that's where you just have to ask yourself, is this someone I want to hand the keys to, or should I let them figure it out on their own? One thing that was really kind of caught me off guard, just by chance. I never really, my whole life, I wanted to get into finance and do trading, and I just never knew people in the industry. But a college buddy of mine ended up working for Merrill Lynch and becoming extremely successful. I want to say they're managing him and one other guy are managing almost $1 billion, which is pretty wild. I think they're probably like 700 or 800 million right now. And so I've been poking him for a while, saying, look, you don't pay attention to this, you're gonna be a dinosaur in a short amount of time. And these are guys that should be pretty savvy. And he got a couple of his buddies. I told them right about November of last year about VGX, and said, look, these are some of my big bags, and it's risky. It's been a tough go, but that's where I'm parked. And they stayed on the sidelines for a while, and of course, once it started pumping, they flew in. And the whole time I said, look, guys, you may not do technical analysis, but these are, I guess, traditional wealth managers. So they look, ask somebody else to feed them the data. They're, as far as I can tell, I don't mean to offend anybody, but they almost are just like glorified salesmen. But these are guys in traditional wealth finance. And I said, look, the one thing you don't do is buy into a parabola. And I mean, they just gobbled it all up. They gobbled it all up at, $5, $6, $7, no matter what I was saying, like, pump the brakes, see what happens. So it's a challenge, no matter what we kind of preface with people. It just really depends on whether that's a person that can handle the information and actually wants to, take it and make it their own, or wants to just follow what you say and then shake their head at you when it doesn't work out. But anyway, a little long-winded. Really glad to be here. I think I'm just really excited and have incredible beliefs about Voyager. And I think the last thing I'll say outside of all those details is, I heard someone else say that they liked the details earlier on, and this, that's what you look at. I'm kind of the opposite in a sense. While I look at those details of Voyager that brought me in the first place, as far as circulation and supply and stuff like that, I think you can really bet a lot on a team and people. And if you're a good judge of kind of some of those intangible qualities, looking at like, Steve and what Voyager's putting out there and what they're doing. I mean, the app is like crack, I think that was the other thing. When I first downloaded in 2019, I couldn't put it down, and I said, well, this is wild. And then there's this great APY, and this is the perfect place for me to onboard my parents, or these older folks who want to do it, but they're really nervous. This is the way to spoon feed them and get them in gently. And believe it or not, those older folks, I think, have done a lot better and enjoyed the app much more than some of the younger guys who got in chomping at the bit and jumped the gun at the wrong time. But yeah, I just think this is the right team, and even though there may be doubts and concerns at times, the sky's the limit, and they're gonna deliver. So anyway, grateful to be here, and I'll turn it over back to the whoever's got the floor.
Yeah, appreciate you coming up here. We're happy you're with us and you joined us. And thanks for coming up here and sharing that. I appreciate the insight.
High quality character pick, Bill Murray. I am seriously impressed. Well done, man. Very well done.
Yeah, but we got a good bit of us up here. But anybody that hasn't talked on the subject, Frankie, Aragorn, Sun Tzu, any of y'all want to touch on it before we move on to kind of the last question we have planned? Lord Stanley, also, do you have anything? I know you've been up here for a little bit.
Hey everybody, this is my first Spaces actually talking. So I just want to say thanks to the VGX community. A lot of you guys have been real supportive of me when I just got on probably a couple months ago. But kind of what a bunch of other people were saying is I'm fairly new to the crypto, and I'm invested in Voyager after, as Steve always says, it's a sticky app, so you get on it and then you just can't put it down. So I invested in it, and then it went up and down, and it went down, and I thought to myself, I have two options where I can just be down in the dumps and just feel sorry for myself, or I can join the heroes and try and educate and help get this sentiment in the right direction and help the team as much as we can, because I know they have Oscar Salazar from Uber. Steve was with E-Trade, and they've got a great team. I forgot who was saying earlier, but back in like December, they had pretty much only millions of dollars under assets under management, and then they went up to like 5 billion. And I think it was September. The employees there were like 20, and now they're up to 200. Just all around cryptos, it's everywhere. If you're paying attention, it's everywhere. You got StormX, you got the deal with the Mavs. StormX is at the Trailblazers. We got the race cars. Tezos is at the Met Stadium. There, all these NFL players. It's just everywhere. So to me, I couldn't unsee crypto once I got on board, and I've been following Bitcoin. Obviously, and the halving cycle is big. So anytime I try to get anyone into crypto, I tell them, hey, we're at the end stages of this 4-year cycle. Like I said, I'm fairly new, but everything's kind of been projecting this towards the same of the 2013 cycle is what I've been seeing on different charts, and following like Will Clemente and Preston Fish and Pomp and all those big Bitcoiners. But I just wanted to say I'm happy to be in the space with everybody, and we got a good community, and we just got to keep it going, and just make sure we support each other. So thanks for having me.
Definitely, I appreciate you coming up here. We always love to hear from everybody, and appreciate you coming up here and sharing that with us. We can kind of move it on to our last question. It's a two-parter, so it might take a little bit, but I want to get through everybody on this one. So, what is your favorite non-VGX coin/project? And also, what is your favorite thing to do outside of crypto? You know, favorite hobby, family, something along those lines. So we can start with you, Sun Tzu.
Favorite crypto outside of VGX? I'm gonna have to say Bitcoin. It's the king, the Mac Daddy. It was the first one I ever bought, and it's done me good. So I'm gonna roll with Bitcoin. And outside of crypto, lately I haven't been doing too much. I used to be big into gaming. That's kind of, I think, part of what led me to all this is just being slightly tech savvy and into the whole online community stuff and whatnot. So, you know, gaming was big for me. And recently I bought a mountain bike. And so that's been something that really is like, it's a nice escape from all the technical stuff. It's like kind of the balance of, you know, get out, get some fresh air, get some exercise, you know, all that good stuff. So you know, I try to balance it, and yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. Floki, what about you, Mario?
Shameless plug time. My favorite crypto project is VGX Heroes. Surprise, surprise. I love you guys. I've had so much fun in this community. Countless moments that I will remember for the rest of my life. I've already met close to 20 plus heroes in real life. This community changed my life. It's incredible. So this is the community crypto project that I'm into. As far as other things I'm into, once we started the Heroes thing, I stopped watching TV. I stopped playing video games. It was just dog, work, Heroes, and then going out to an electronic music show or a metal show and just letting it all out there on the floor. Usually it's the heavier stuff, obviously metal, but I'm going to go to Escape on Friday, go see some dubstep, some hard style. Guess who I'm going to dress up as? Floki. So I'm really excited to sort of go do that. And yeah, obviously buy all the music that you see me posting. Post music, guys. Join our Discord. Be in the music channel. I've been slacking. I've been busy with life and work and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. Just join our Discord and hang out in the music channel. Throw gifts around and play your favorite tunes. Sort of forget about the finances and all that stuff every once in a while. It's really important. Get out there and have some fun.
Definitely so, and I appreciate that. This was actually Floki's idea for this question, the life outside. So, but Aragorn, what about you, my friend?
Oh, I was just saying, quick disclaimer on that. Floki, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you have to be a hero to join in the music channel. So basically, there are two layers to the Discord. There's an easy access. You see a slimmed down version. It's like seven basic channels or something. It's like sidekick access or something. You click. But if you want the full enchilada, then you click a different emoji, whatever. You pick a hero character, and then you get access to the whole shebang. So just to let you know, if you haven't joined the Discord yet. So there's that. You said favorite community, crypto community, or just coin, whatever?
Favorite coin / project outside of VGX?
Good question. Is it bad that I have to look at my portfolio to remind me what I actually own?
Just too diversified, huh?
Maybe a little too diversified. I don't know. Let's go, because I feel like someone's probably going to say it anyways. Wait, I feel like I shouldn't name a micro cap, just because people will
give
go
us a wild. All good.
No, I won't go do that. Because then people go fishing for it, and then it'll be like NFA, you know. So, let's go Stormex. So I like Stormex. One, because I got to meet the CEO. So Simon was at Daytona. He came to Voyager's. When Landon was racing there. So just getting to meet him and stuff, pick his brain on a couple of subjects. So got to like him as an individual, and just kind of, he's the quiet type, the work behind the scenes, grind, and know that results will kind of take care of themselves. So yeah, I think I just trust what I've seen out of his work ethic, and just kind of like the utility they've been building behind the scenes. But I just think it's a matter of time before they get publicity and stuff with the CoinBase listing or things, before it really gains traction here with an American audience. So I like how remote their team is. They had like a meeting in Tokyo recently, and they have people like literally all around the globe.
All right, definitely so. And outside of crypto, your favorite hobby or thing to do?
Yeah, I love waxing Floki in disc golf because he was acting like all hot shot, and then just took him to town. No.
Yeah,
Love
I
to hear
talk a big game. I talk a big game with disc golf, but Aragorn, he's got a good throw, for sure. We played
Hey,
each other.
hey, that's the word in the street. That's what I've heard. So
Whenever we have our next VGX Heroes meetup, yacht time, whatever it is, I definitely want to pick a place that has a disc golf course there.
hey, and if he's trying to bet money, don't do it. He's a pro.
Don't
so.
do it.
Hey, I'll just tell you, I'll throw with my opposite hand, like sandbag or whatever, and then actually, because I'm kind of ambidextrous, so I've definitely, not gonna lie, I've definitely sandbagged some people with that before.
This guy.
And he's a good guy. So when you throw your disc into the water, he's like, "Whoa, man! Whoa! This is Florida. Here, use this thing to fish it out. Don't get eaten by a gator." So he'll watch
That's
out.
true. Floki was like basically hand in the water, and this like you couldn't see in the water, and he just starts reaching down. Like I literally grab him, dude. What are you doing? He's like, "What? I was grabbing it." I was like, "No, you aren't. You used this stick, like Florida. Jeez, you will get eaten." And he's like, "What? Seriously?" Yes, they live here. It's their home, not ours.
You let him out of California one time. That's how he acts. Like he never
What
been to
happened?
Florida before.
And he came back with one hand less.
What's going on, Airborne? Since you hopped up, you can go next.
I'm just hanging out, guys. Just listening.
Okay, fair enough. Never mind. Thor, you can go ahead. You there, Thor?
Oh, yep. My bad. Yeah. Damn. Mine's a micro cap, but now I don't want to say it either.
Do
well,
it.
I'll show it. I mean, I've already showed it in like the coins channel, so like I might jump on it. But if I do, yeah, I will. Like number one, I'm gonna say that like you're not going all in on microcaps. Manage your risk if you're doing anything. But also, I'm gonna talk about this coin, but I'm a very large investor, and nothing is like financial advice, but it's probably my second biggest bag, and it's super big. So it's like basically kind of plays off the hype, and like NFTs are getting really big. So it's an NFT marketplace for like influencers to auction off kind of like eBay and stuff like that, NFTs for different types of things. So it's like digital content. It's like it could just be like a random picture that they've like never released before, but it's also like experiences. So like they're partnered with Logan Paul. Like they had sponsored the fight with Mayweather. So one of the things like Logan Paul auctions off an experience where you pay for like to go to Puerto Rico and like hang out with him for the weekend. Like they mentioned that's like going to be something that's going to be on there, or like a physical item. So the shorts from the boxing match with Mayweather, they'll be like putting those up for an auction as well, apparently. But like it launched in September. They have like a bunch of partners. The team kind of reminds me of like the Voyager team, definitely on a way less like a way a different scale because Voyager's a financial team, like very professional, and like in the aspect of like that traditional sense. But this team is also, I mean, it's VC backed. It's an actual business, full like C-level suite. Like I've spoken with all of them, very intelligent, but it's technology focused. So they've been shifting towards finally getting their marketing up, and like being able to, ride the tailwinds and bring out that exposure of what they're actually doing, because their product is fully developed. It's not like one of those things that's like oh, it's coming soon, like this exchange is coming soon, the swap is coming soon, whatever. But they like already have partners like Logan Paul, Amanda Cerny, like a bunch of actresses. This like model, and this Polish model that has like 3 million followers. She was like the first auction that they did, and $1 million. Like the first auction was like literally $1 million that they sold to go to dinner with this model. And I think they'll be like playing the video of it soon. But that's really cool. Like they gave it away to charity. But like they just did a bunch of stuff. Like they released a white paper. Like 2 weeks ago, they updated their roadmap, and they're supposed to have like 2 centralized exchanges coming, like that they'll be listed on within like the next month or two. Like they said that one of them is already being finalized. No, it's not gonna be like Binance or something like crazy like that, but it's like Qcoin, Gate.io, something like that. And this coin's only 25 million market cap. So like majority of these coins, like they're super risky because I mean this is one of those where like you get it on like Bitcoin.com or on like Uniswap or like on a centralized exchange. So those are like already hard. You have to be a second level type of like crypto person to be able to use those or feel comfortable. But then when it goes onto an exchange like Qcoin, Gate.io, eventually Binance, etc., like that's when mainstream masses come. But I like the 2 listings for this 25 million. A lot of these coins go up like 4x just from a listing like Qcoin. I know Super Rare was a very similar thing. It's like an NFT marketplace that sold like artwork, but only like artwork. But it like I think back in August it went up literally from 25 million market cap. It got listed on Gate.io, and then it went up to 400 million market cap within 10 days. It was like August 16th to August 26th. Like ridiculous. And I mean, personally, I think this platform's way better and way more set up to succeed. So that's why I'm bullish on this. And like, I'm super packed up. I think like with all these things coming, I know we had spoken earlier about like lulls and like roadmaps and how it benefited VGX holders that wanted to collect at a lower price. For this, I think like they just made a marketing mistake of not having any major releases after the Logan Paul Mayweather fight. And so that these past 2 months with no like major releases or like past month or something, people got bored. There's tons of other things going on in the market. This is a micro cap. It's very volatile. And some people start taking out their money. It goes down a huge percentage. But then you also have to also remember it goes reverse. I mean, it's a micro cap. It's $25 million again. Yes, this is super risky because it's so small, but there's people out there betting on projects that are fully anonymous, have some random code that was developed, and you're getting 20,000 or 20 million APY on this coin that you know is going to be a rug pull. What's like? I mean, in my mind, like also kind of risk reward situation, and I mean, this is where I'm betting my money at the moment. That's kind of my riskier play, whereas like VGX is my fully is my safe play, like my 100% safe play. That was a tangent though.
No, you're good. I love hearing about new projects. And I mean the Pauls, as much as people love to hate them, they are pretty deep, especially into NFTs. So that's the interesting people that's connected with it. But favorite thing outside of crypto?
Oh, I'm a gym rat. I love going to the gym. And honestly, crypto has been like the one thing that's kind of started getting me more distracted. And sounds super douchey now, but I was out in Utah like for a week visiting my sister. Had an awesome time. We were out there like in the fresh air, adventuring every day, hiking. Very different from Miami. And I needed that after like this past like 2 months, 3-4 months of the bull run where we're all just like staring at the screen, like no sleep because you're trying to manage 100 different things. But that was awesome. But I was in the gym for a week from there. And then like before that, I had an injury. And then like this week I was super busy. So this is the first day in like 3-4 weeks. And I kind of felt like I was going crazy. But yeah, super tangent, super douchey. The gym.
Hey, I respect it. You can't hate staying healthy. But appreciate yeah, thanks as always for being up here. Frankie, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. You know, outside of Bitcoin, I think my second like favorite project is Polkadot. I just for me personally, I think that has a decent decent run up once things start getting onboarded. Outside of crypto, I like cycling. I have a bunch of different hobbies that I'm into. RC cars, model trains. I know it's nerdy, but that's my thing.
Hey, I respect all hobbies, and it's a extreme attention to detail and interesting stuff on nice setups. I'm interested to see yours now, and I like it, nice and quick and sweet. But Aldo, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. In terms of the coin outside of, yeah, I hold a lot, but I really like Elrond. I really like Elrond. It has continued to perform, and I like the team and I like the tech behind it. So that would be my one of my favorites. And in terms of what I like to do outside of crypto, I like to cook. I like to cook and host dinner parties and cook for friends and family and have them over. And that's what I like to do. So there we go. Have a good night, y'all.
Yeah, I respect that. I'm somebody that loves the idea of cooking, but just can never execute, and always mess up somewhere along the line. So I can respect that for sure. I would say my favorite coin outside of VGX and Bitcoin is AVAX. I got in the Avalanche really early on, relatively. I got in under $10, but I just, once again, like most people say, I really like the team. I like the use case, like the platform. I just, I'm a big fan of it. And then also, two-parter. I'm gonna throw in on the NFT side, the Platypunks NFT. Really like, when it comes to NFTs, I'm not somebody that's big on just profile pictures. I like, utility. I like an active team, and the founder, the creators of it. They're both public profiles. They're known people, and there's just a lot of utility factors. So that's mine. And outside of crypto, I really like TA. So that's kind of, but excluding TA, I'm a fitness guy. My dog, and it's kind of it. I like going out. That's kind of my things. Simple guy, but it just mostly crypto is what I like to do. It's ridiculous as it sounds to people outside of crypto. I just love researching it. I love TA. I just love being involved, talking to other people in crypto. It's just the most knowledge and just the most informative and insightful people in the world. I truly believe it. You learn something new every day. It's moving unbelievably fast. Every day's a week. So it's super fascinating stuff. So that's kind of mine. But
And of course, posting Pepe's. That too, right?
always. That's my first love. But right up on here on the 2-hour mark, so we'll kind of close it up. If anybody wants to give their final thoughts, Floki, you can start off.
I'm good, man. I checked the price. We're going up during this AMA or this roundtable. So yeah, continue to be strong, my family. We got this. I'm excited to celebrate with you guys for years to come. All these bonds that we're making here and now are going to be pretty damn awesome. 3, 5, 10 years from now, when we look back, we're gonna laugh at these prices. We're gonna laugh at all the stress that we went through. I'm so excited for the future and to have you guys be a part of it.
Appreciate you as always, Floki. Can we get a round of hundreds for Floki? And while you are doing that, I forgot Stone Cold. For him, he wanted me to specifically mention his coin is HBAR. Also, I like HBAR. I know a lot of us like HBAR, but he wanted to throw that one in there. But Aragorn, if you want to take it over next.
All right, what we got? Or the coin?
We're doing we're closing kind of
Airborne or Aragorn?
Yeah,
Aragorn.
right.
Aragorn. Aragorn.
I know you gotta pronounce that extra syllable.
Sorry, I'm from Louisiana. I just kind of let shit run together.
Just blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, I would say, if you find yourself mindlessly scrolling Twitter, go ahead and search VGX in the search bar and just start liking stuff. So we got to find ways of improving sentiment, getting posts out there and stuff like that. And so yeah, just try to make your scrolling a little bit more productive. And if it's something like literally as simple as that, I'd say that's a baby step, we all can take. So
Yeah, and definitely so. And small accounts out there, maybe they're just getting on Twitter. They like VGX. A like, a comment can go a long way for people. A lot of us started with tiny accounts. Oh, wrong button. And so you know how it feels not to have any followers, no interactions. So when you get engagements, it feels really good. So, you have much going on. I definitely tag on with that and just, try to make the world a better place always. Too much negativity out there. Just try to spread as much positivity and reach as many people as you can. But Thor, you got anything?
Oh, lost the mute button. No, I mean, I agree with all the previous messages. I mean, if you got in crypto recently and got wrecked or you're underwater and in a bad space, wag me. If you haven't seen that yet, we're all gonna make it. Just stick with it. It may take some longer than others, but if you're actually putting in the time and you're interested in it, you're gonna be way ahead of what's to come. And there's still so much opportunity out there. It's the market cap grew 600 billion over the past month, and everybody was depressed all September that we're about to hit zero. So I mean, stick with it. Keep investing in strong projects. Have some fun. Yeah, check out Twitter. We're all out here posting memes. That's what I do when I'm not trying to do TA. So yeah, I mean, just stick with it. Have that growth mindset, that positive mindset.
Absolutely. Aldo, you have anything for us, my friend?
Yeah, I had something to say, and then the previous speaker made me think about something else, which is we live in the best time ever in the entire world to have been born in, period, hands down. We live in a time now where I can connect to a community that's all over the country and all over the world, and we can take our own financial freedom into our own hands, and we can share information at the speed of light. That has never taken place before. So, in spite of all the FUD, in spite of all the ups and downs that take place in our daily lives, and I think a lot of times we get sucked into these kind of, negative narratives. We need to take a step back and go, hey, look, we actually are living the best time ever. And you know what? We are part of a community that is amazing, and we have the ability to do what we should do, and that is make the world a better place. And we have the ability to do that. So, yeah, on Twitter and all social media, and in your own personal lives, human to human. Just understand what a blessing this is and where we're at, and just take action. And taking action is the biggest part. So that's what I would like to impart to the community. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, appreciate you as always hopping up here. Bill, Murray, you have anything?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, so just I want to kind of give you guys a positive message about what my journey has been. And a little bit about my hobbies because I didn't touch on that. So, we're big. I have a family and dogs, a cat, a kid, a young man, and and my wife, and we I grew up in DC and have been what I call a slave to the matrix, just working and grinding for so many years, and it's tough, and it's tough out there for everybody at different times, and especially when there's these incredible opportunities out there and you're like just scraping for pennies to figure out how to pull it together. And when I jumped in 2017, I said, look, this is the real deal. I talked to my friends and family, and I said, look, I did my research. And yeah, exactly. This is the best time. I mean, there's never been a time like this to be alive. There's, I can go on forever about the analogies to the Renaissance, and um, I'd be happy to speak about that because I have a lot of thoughts there. But we literally are in a new Renaissance, and so I said I'm going to do whatever it takes, and hopefully in a cycle or two I can get free and free my family. And it blew my mind, but sure enough, with positive attitude, conviction, doing your own research, diversifying, not going all in one place. But VGX was a big proponent in this run up to 7 to freeing my family, and in 4 short years, I was able to quit my job. We live on the water now. We have a little boat, go mess around fishing. That's what we love to do, fish and just swim and hang out and think about where the world's going, and how we can invest our capital to maximize positivity and healthy growth for everyone around us. So it's a crazy journey, lots of ups and downs. We're all in it together, but these are incredible times. And yeah, like, there's just so many opportunities and projects out there. We're all on the right track, and VGX is a very, very powerful community and growth story, and we're all blessed to be here. So anyway, I'll be out here catching fish and looking at charts and chatting with you guys for the unforeseeable future. So hopefully I'll get to see you all at NASCAR events and Mavericks games and wherever we go from here. But I'm looking forward to building friendships and watching everybody, have success stories, just like mine, if not better, because that's what we all deserve. So cheers.
Hey, I appreciate that. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Nothing brings me more joy than hearing stories or success stories of people getting out of, the proverbial rat race. And I truly believe this. We are born in the best generation that anybody can get to the 1% or get to the point they want to be in life, and they don't have to work their whole lives to get there, just to enjoy their retirement of depleting money. So it's we have an unbelievable opportunity, and all different points in life. So it's amazing to hear stories like that. I appreciate you coming up here. Crypto Airborne.
Yeah, I just want to caveat off that real quick. I'm in the same boat as Bill Murray. I grew up poor, and I worked my way up. Never had really much guidance from my family, my mom and dad, growing up. So like, the time span that I grew up was like, you go to high school, you go to college. That's what you did. That's what you did when you grew up. So I went to college. I joined the ROTC program. I joined the military. I served my country. I did 7 years active Army. So I paid off my college tuition. I did that, and then I got out of the military back in 2016. And I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? So I tried to start a drone business, failed, and then I ended up joining Amazon. So luckily, Amazon gave me a job, paid the bills, so on and so forth. This was back in 2017, and they gave me a bunch of stock and whatnot, and I got into crypto back then. So I was like, man, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna put my stock into crypto. So I cashed out all my stock, put it into crypto during the bear market, and I quit my day job, guys, back in April. So I have a family. I've got 2 kids. I'm just chilling now. I'm bored as shit. So this is my job now, guys. I'm just here chilling. This is my last words. I don't want to spiel on. I know I just joined and whatnot, but yeah, we're living in the greatest time right now. The biggest transition of wealth, I think, in history. We're living in a great time right now. Just really want to shout that out right now. So yeah.
Yeah, appreciate you as always. He always records the spaces for us, post on his YouTube. So if you miss any of it, you can check it out there always, and check out the previous Sun Tzu. Then we can wrap it up and get out of here.
CDP.
Yeah, that's Crypto Daddy Pig he's referring to, for anybody that
Hero
knows
of the week.
Yeah, and appreciate all the work you do on the Heroes page. Definitely give the Heroes page a follow. Join the Discord if you haven't already. At the top, I pinned how to become a VGX hero. If you're interested, appreciate everybody in here hanging around with us. We're happy to do this. We love hearing from each and every one of y'all. Thank you as always, and catch us back next Wednesday.
And thank you, Pepe, for being the best friend frog that can host Twitter Spaces. You are the man. We owe you big time for keeping this train going along. I'm really tired. I'm just gonna shut up. Good night, everybody. It's been real.
Thank
Strength
you.
is
Good
on.
night. Good night. Happy to be here.
Good night.
Well.